We live off-grid on 4.5 acres of land in Lincolnshire. Since moving here, we've installed a rainwater filtration system, a solar power system and a polytunnel. A few years ago, we added chickens to the mix too. Last winter, we housed them in our polytunnel, but this year, we're having a big push on growing food all year round, so that's no longer an option. Instead, the chickens will be getting their own smaller polytunnel. Keeping the wheels turning on our off-grid projects is hard, especially now we have 2 small children. There are lots of other projects we've considered taking on, but we're having to face the reality that we have perhaps reach the limits of what we can achieve alone.
Santa's little helper. Santa's little helper. We're Santa's little helpers. We make the wheels go round. Day and night, night and day, here in Christmas Town. We're Santa's little helpers, and it's us you wanna know. If you want a date under the mistletoe, we're Santa's little helpers. We make all the toys, the trinkets for the girls and the trucks for the boys. We're Santa's little helpers, and we know every trick, 'cause we wrote the book on Old Saint Nick. It's a foggy Christmas night.
Get off of there, break it.
So Rudolph, shine your light. Santa's little helper.
So for £122, you can get this polytunnel. It's 6 metres by 3 metres, and yeah, you wouldn't want it if you were in an area where it was really, really windy. We're quite sheltered here now. But for that sort of price, if you're in a fairly calm area, you get a polytunnel you can grow stuff in, which is quite handy. I'm surprised they can make something that cheap, really, because it's not that bad. I mean, it is wobbly, and if, you know, how long the plastic will last, I don't know. But it's £122. And it does need a bit of reinforcement, so you've got to think about spending more. I'm going to have to put some reinforcements in there that'll come off the frame, just to make it child-proof. My God, Grace, careful what you're doing, darling. I've got to put some hooks on that anyway. So basically what I've done is I've built a little perch at the back there for the chickens, and I had some black thick rubber that's making like a roof, and it goes across the back, and it gives them a little bit more warmth under there where they'll sit. The idea is to keep them nice and dry, keep them warm, hopefully they'll stay laying. Last year we decided to put them in the polytunnel, which was a bad idea because they made such a mess of it. It took us hours and hours to sort of get it back around. A lot of the soil was chucked out of the beds. They didn't really fertilise those beds as much as we wanted them to. And they also put a hole in the side of it, some scratches where we had some cockerels, where they would run out of the coop in the morning after being locked up. They'd run out of the coop and have a little scuffle, and I've got slices down there as well that I've had to put tape over. So whereas this, it doesn't really matter, and also it depends on where the entrance door is. So I'm going to put the coops up against the side. I did think about trying to put them through a window, but having got the windows there now, they're netted and they're also really small. So I'll just put the coop up against the doors and probably roll that side up. You can roll that, I think, roll that end up a little bit so the other coop, they can get under it. And they've got shelter. When they come out, they'll be able to get straight out there into that part before they want to go outside. It just makes sense. They're a bit more dry going in and out of their coop as well, because we could be in for a really, really wet winter again. We've had quite a lot of rain already, and I'm full of the bloody cold.
Don't come in here till Wednesday first.
Okay.
Saturday.
They also say don't build it with children.
Oh.
Okay. Let me have a little read. They say, don't build it with any children called Grace, because they are small lunatics. There you go. Right. Now I've got to the other side.
Can I do it? You're that side, so, and I'm
Right.
this side.
March away then. Right, back. Got to cut again. Dangerous stuff. Right back. Out the way. Good boy.
What's that? You can't do it yet, Gabby. Daddy, can we see Chick Chick?
We better tell about the story of Chick Chick. So Chick Chick was a chicken born out of 12 eggs, so she was the only one that hatched.
Yeah.
And so she's been brought up on her own. We tried to get some other chickens, baby chicks for her. We were hoping one of our chickens might have been broody at the time. It didn't work out. All the timings were wrong, so we had to bring up this little chicken indoors. And she's 7 weeks now, and she's in her own. She's got her own coop, her own little outdoor area. Her heaters are in there, but she can see these chickens when she comes out, but she can't. This only happened yesterday, so she's been brought up with us. Fair to say she's not going to be a table bird, because now she's sort of a pet. What we wanted was a cockerel, because we've got these other Labreast chickens. We wanted some new blood in, and these eggs came from Peterhead, and obviously the journey was too much, and a lot of them didn't survive. They weren't viable.
With that little chicken.
She was the only one, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she's not lonely now.
Yeah.
Because she has friends.
So the worry was these Labreast ones we have here, they could be all related, because they're from one place. Although the guy had loads of chickens, because he could sort of get 48 eggs for us in no time at all. Was it 48? 24 eggs.
But Daddy, when these ones were born, and there were plenty of eggs, and when these ones were born, we had plenty of eggs. But when those ones got born first.
Right.
Then, and all of those ones hatched, and they were babies. And now I'm talking about these ones first, then those ones, then that baby chick, okay?
Okay.
Those ones got born first.
Right.
Then those ones got born. Then little Chick Chick got born.
Yeah. Albie, they're allowed in there, it's for them. Oh, look at them, they're happy.
Huh?
Yeah, are you happy?
Yeah.
Good. So obviously this was a very cheap polytunnel, and you know, we're attaching bits to it, so the coop's trying to keep the chickens warm, so they can walk out and not get sort of soaking wet, because we're expecting probably going to be a wet winter again. This country's, you know, wet and cold all winter. Might warm up about July. It'll just be interesting to see how long it lasts. So we had Storm Bert, and that lasted a few days of it being very windy. Luckily we didn't lose this thing, but it has got a few tears in it. All the little tyres that are inside, most of those have gone, have just torn off, just unthreaded really, so there's a few little holes in it. But it's torn this away. We've got another tear in here where it's blowing around and got caught hold of the mesh. I opened these up to let the wind sort of blow through, but it was lucky that we were here to lift the sides up, otherwise it would have been a lot worse. And then like the ties, that's doing nothing. I just tied that on, that's doing nothing. They're just ripped off. That one's still attached. There's a couple there that are still good. That one, this side's not so bad, but this side, look, they just tore away. So, you know, the question you keep getting really is why do you want to do all this, and why do you want to have your own animals and things? Because actually the organic food that we give them isn't very cheap, and I don't know how people can produce an organic egg and make a profit, if I'm honest, because if they don't lay for whatever reason, you're losing money all the time. It's just a bit of pressure I wouldn't like. And the truth is, the food that we're eating in this country isn't that good. The quality just isn't that good. In fact, we can't eat chicken from a supermarket. It just tastes really weird. It's very watery. It's slimy, actually, really slimy. So now we almost rely on being able to grow our own birds, because we just can't stand it. Similarly with eggs, if you buy eggs, they're just not as good. They're not, the colour's not there, and if the colour's there, the taste isn't there, so they're putting something for the colour sometimes, I guess. And you know, we're just losing quality all the time. I mean, I'm excited about America at the moment. I mean, love Trump or hate him, something very interesting is going on with the people he's selecting. One of the people he's selected has been selected to advise the Secretary of Agriculture is Joel Salatin, who is an unbelievable farmer. All his beef is 100% grass-fed. The chickens are all grass-pastured, and all the food is sustainable and uses permaculture and all these sorts of things that are really good. You know, things that are regenerative farming, proper. You know, moving the cows every day so they don't chew the grass down too much, and really sustainable. And he's doing it well. He's doing it professionally. He's feeding a lot of people on that sort of stuff. And because some people say, well, it won't feed a country and all this sort of thing. You'll probably find you get more out of it. We find that if you eat a chicken that is on grass and it's feeding well, it's more filling. It really is. It's really weird. You know, we can't eat as much chicken as you could a bought chicken. It's all watery and it's very fine textured. These chickens are more meaty, and I would think that a lot of stuff will end up like that, more nutritious. And I mean, the science probably say, oh, it's the same nutrition. It isn't the same feeling when I eat it, and I'm not doing any science experiments, but that's just the way I see it. In order to get decent food, people or even land, people are on about sort of sharing it, having a community to grow their own food. I can understand the appeal, but you know, farmers would be doing that already, and I know some of them share, you know, the odd tractor and stuff, but they don't all live together on a piece of land, and the reason for that is they want to do their own thing with their land. Believe it or not, people have different views, and to invest in something altogether is quite a big risk. To have the land broken up into pieces is a different thing. You know, if you buy a piece of land and you have an acreage, blah blah blah, and you decide to have beef, or you decide to have cows on it, that's quite similar to what would go on in a rural area anyway. So I don't believe in making communities smaller. You know, this idea that we're all going to just sort of do everything in-house. Not everybody wants to be a farmer, you know, because that's what it takes. It takes nearly that whole community to be involved with growing, processing, cooking and farming all those varieties of animals. But we have a wider community out there of people, consumers, that want to eat good food, and that is where the community is. It's all around us, and through the internet there's loads and loads of them about. So recently there's been a trial putting additives in feed for cows, and that is to lower their emissions basically. So they're trying to lower their methane of farting and burping in order to save the planet, which is the most stupid thing ever. I mean, let's just say that there's been a lot more animals than there probably has today, and people are going to go, oh, there's no more cows than there is blah blah blah. Look, even bugs produce methane, and we had a lot more of them. Who remembers just travelling along years ago and little bugs hitting your windscreen, and all that nature that we used to have? This planet was full of CO2 producing things. Even leaves that are falling on the ground and rotting away are creating stuff. And this used to be a forest. This country used to be a forest island. I think we'd lost, I think it was 83% of our forest or something daft like that, a high number of our forest. And there'd have been an awful lot of animals living in there. And there's an awful lot of bison there used to be living across the plains of America. So shitting and farting isn't a problem. It's just an absolute load of bollocks. You know, this additive that they're putting in food, God knows why. I don't know whether these people are really just trying to harm people now, or whether they actually believe what they're saying. You know, and they're going to keep saying it's the science of the science. This is why people are questioning it. They're going, this is just doesn't sound right. Because people with a brain just going, this just doesn't sound right. This sounds like bollocks. It sounds like utter bollocks. It's going to be found out that it is utter bollocks. And we're just going to be expected to eat these additive things that might do all sorts of things to your body. You know, no one wants to eat these chemicals. And some people have said, oh well, there's, you know, chemicals are in everything. And it's so hard to argue with stupid people, isn't it? So if that nonsense continues, and they're on about, you know, lots of these places doing that, and we can't get access to milk that hasn't got this additive in, we'll end up having a cow, which is something we really don't want, nor should have to do. But that's where we will move to next. And you just keep thinking the goalposts here keep moving. It's like with the food situation. I found out about how bad our food was since we moved down here. You know, we were going to grow our own vegetables and everything anyway, but then when you find just how bad it is, you go, let's grow more, and let's grow more and more, especially the soft fruits and things like that with forever chemicals on. And you know, it costs a lot of money to buy organic. It really does, and it isn't even chemical free. So understanding all that, you know, we've got to do our part. You either have consumer choice and end up getting rid of these companies that are doing these stupid things, and the consumer basically makes these corporations wish they'd never had this agenda of putting these various things in our foods. And that's what we need to do. We need to punish them. We need to punish them now. We need to not use them.
Show me light, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me life, show me love, this is all we got.